feel that perhaps you're giving away points here at home early in this season right now?
There's two games. The Vancouver one, it's not giving. They're just coming back, tough one, and we don't. There's nothing to give there. It's a good team. It's a battle, and we just weren't good enough that day. Didn't have enough juice. The two games really that are the two games that we should and want to close is the game against Washington, where we're leading with 16 minutes left. We're leading 3-1, so 2 goals ahead. And yesterday, and both games leading 2 goals ahead in the third period. Usually that's one of our biggest strengths, but that was one of our biggest strengths not at the beginning of last year, much later and at the end of the year, which again I said we're going back to zero starting the year, which means you go back to a lot of your bad habits and you have to rebuild everything. And those 2 games are the same. It's turnovers. The 3 goals against Wash were turnovers. Yesterday the 2 goals are turnovers. So we just got to manage the puck, and we know at the beginning of the year it's harder. Every coach is talking about that, and that's normal. It's the beginning of the year. Having said that, if you look at last year after 7 games, and you look at this year, we're ahead in every department. We're at one more point this year than we did last year. We had 8 points after 7 games. We got 9 this year. Goals against, we're at 25 against. Now we're at 16. Goals for, we got 23 this year. We had 22 last year. The power play is at almost 19%. It was at 15% at this time of the year. We were at 75% on the penalty kill last year at this time of the year. Now we're at 95%. Face-offs, we were at 49. Now we're at 51 point something. And you go on the list, and we're ahead of last year in everything that we were doing last year. So like I said, the process starts back at zero. And we have to understand that the bad habits that were ingrained, are still there, but they're just going away faster than last year. But it's always small increments. We didn't, it's not like we've made this gigantic change in our lineup. We have pretty much the same lineup. So we have the same team with the same issues, and just like I said, we should be a little faster in getting to where we'd like to be, and that's exactly what's happening.
Update on Zach Smith?
Oh, he's going to be out for at least a week.
Upper body, coach?
Yes, yeah. Yes, upper body, yes.
And Mark Borowiecki?
It's day to day. It's day to day with
questionable.
I'd love to say yes, but I really have to wait tomorrow. He wasn't on the ice today, so we would need a bit of luck there.
Are you going to have to call up a foreman?
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah. I don't know. No. We have to have that talk right now. I was waiting to see what was going to happen with Smitty. We needed to wait until today to figure out how long it would be, and he won't be available tomorrow. So we have to call up somebody, and for that we need to. I don't see them play, so I'm not the one deciding who's coming up. It's really an organizational decision, so we have to have that organizational talk.
Decision on who you started overtime with last night. I didn't get to hear your explanation. What's your explanation for those 3 players?
Oh, it depends every game. It depends on who the opponent is sending out there. I'm waiting to see who they send out there, and those are high-end offensive guys that we had put. When I saw that, even last year, we'd put our best offensive guys to shut them down and then attack after. And so that's why, you had Pager and Pide, who normally did that last year, exact same. And I was going to throw Eric out the shift after, because I was expecting some of their players to come out after and be a great matchup with putting it would have been Turris and Hoffman with Eric the shift after. But then we got caught out there, and we weren't able to get that. But that's what overtime is. It's a crapshoot. Sometimes things work, sometimes don't work. Sometimes, whether it's any one of our offensive guys last year that we lost against, lost with. You win some of those, you lose some of those, and the game after that, you have to make decisions on according to your team and the opponent. So it varies from game to game.
Is that a bad change on that play? That perhaps
no, because Hoff was back on time. So it's not if they had a clear 3-on-2 with guys open, but nobody was open. It's just we gave the puck carrier a bit too much gap. So yeah, if somebody would have been missing, I would have said yeah, but at the same time they were stuck out there. You know, they managed it well. They managed it well because they brought it back instead of staying in the old zone. They were able to change and breathe while we were stuck, and we were stuck on the far side. So we would have been able to change if we were on the short side, but we were so far away. Our guys wanted to change before, but they were caught because that one pass on a 3-on-3, you're done. So they were stuck. So we were able to do it, but maybe 2-3 feet in our gapping on the puck carrier. But Mike was back getting his guy, and the other guy was covered. So probably just a better gap on the puck carrier on that one.
As you know, everybody in the city's a coach. So everybody second guesses everything, right? And so going back to who you put on the ice, people would say you're playing not to win overtime if you start with Pajot and Payet. Why not go with your top players right away?
We've won last year like that. So what do they say now? So it's like 1 year in Tampa. I remember couldn't win a shootout. And after about 7 shootouts, I figured, all right, let's go with guys that have less pressure. So then we won like 6 in a row. And then that one game that was on NBC, all of a sudden, we play against Washington, big game. Then I send the same guys that made us win, but all of a sudden, I was the devil because I didn't send my big names out there that had trouble shooting. But it was the same guys that we had been winning with. So you know what? When you pay attention to that, there's a lot of people in the world. So how many people now? We're what, 8 billion now? So there's 8 billion opinions. So if I go to bed thinking of 8 billion opinions, I'm going to have all kinds of issues. No.
Coach, what's the biggest challenge that if there is just one, that the Leafs pose?
Oh, there's many, but I wouldn't say problems. I just say that's their strength, and we're aware of them. It's the same strengths as last year. They've got a lot of youth, a lot of speed. Their offense is not a pretty offense. It's a gritty one, which I think we saw that yesterday. If you look at the top 2 teams in the league offensively, they're 2 teams that don't try to rely on their skills. They rely on their grit with their skill. So that's very different. And the Devils and Toronto are teams that put pucks at the net constantly. Like yesterday, a lot of times it's, oh man, we're not defending well. No, not true. Is that these guys are creating chaos in our zone, just like we do when we play well. Because there's pucks coming from behind the net, from the side, bad angles, unexpected pucks coming with bodies at the net and whacking and jamming and paying the price there. And that's what those two teams do really well. And when we play well, we do that. When we don't play good enough, it's like against Vancouver, we're very perimeter. It looks good, but it's not effective. And those guys have an effective offense because they get their dirty offense. That's over 80% of goals are dirty offense, and they do that very well, and they're very fast. So yesterday, as much as I told the players how fast Jersey was and how they are, I think they all told you after the game that they were surprised of how fast and how good they were. I wasn't. I'm watching video, and so we knew. And when we compared them to Toronto when we watched their game, they clearly deserved the game in Toronto because they're extremely fast. And I think it might be surprising because you look at the record last year, but it's not the same team. It's a drastically different lineup, so you get a drastically different outcome. And so we won't be surprised the next time. They're at the top of the league for a reason, and I suspect that they're going to be able to maintain that for a while. And if not probably the entire year, because they got so much speed. They're first on puck everywhere. They create stuff out of nothing, and they got the mentality of putting pucks on net and investing in a dirty offense rather than the pretty perimeter one. And it serves them very well. So I think it's good for us to see that, and it's also good to see that we were beating them 4-2. If we were smart in the third period and didn't create those turnovers that killed us, probably would have won the game. It's the same against Washington, who's a top team. So that's why right now it's important for us is to keep things in perspective and understand right now that we're ahead of last year in our development, and we got to keep it up and keep adding and improving and building.
Back to Craig tomorrow? Sorry.
Yes, back to Craig tomorrow, yes.